It was actually exactly 5 minutes after AP said, all right, we got 3 minutes on the clock. 5 minutes till like Dave gets back.
Welcome to some show with some episode number. Phoning it in today. Empyrean, it exists. We've moved to asteroid mining now. We're spreading out, we're branching out, we're throwing down new bases. We tested out our new Dreadnought ship today. It was excellent, despite the fact that it was missing half of its gun's ammo. And we're just dotting the skies with teleporters so that we can teleport all over the place. Spoon is going to throw down his destroyer at some point, so we can all go ooh and ah while we look at this.
It's like the sports car of capital vessels.
Yeah.
Now, are we talking the sports car that tries to get sold to Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies, or what are we talking here?
Well,
no, we're talking like vintage 70s.
Okay, so it is that one.
The Valiant. Okay. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the Endurance yet, but it's 4 determinations large and 2 determinations tall. And
is it also styled like the Determination?
No, it is not. Okay. It's actually styled like a non-insane person. 108 grow plots on the inside, multiple crew quarters, 8 advanced constructors.
What are you gonna do with 108?
We're using it as a mobile base. That's it.
Okay.
It's the command ship of the fleet. It's got, interestingly, I know that you, Dave, you've had previous problems fitting ships inside of other ships. Yeah. This one has 2 13x7 hangar doors on the top of it that are pressed up against each other, so it becomes a 13x14 door that can be externally opened via the P menu. So you can land a big ass SV inside this thing.
Very nice.
You can land other ships on the interior, like actual full-on CVs inside of this thing.
Okay.
Full repair bay, all that stuff. You should come take a look at it. I'll bring it back home when we get a chance. Or you
How many repair bays can you actually get in that thing?
I don't know. It's only got 1 right now, but
I'm pretty sure like there's a hard limit to having 1 per CV.
Well, it's got 5 repair stations and O2 tanks all over the place. The ship is designed so that if any one part is destroyed, you can still survive without dying and freeze of space in the other parts. Except the hangar. If you lose pressure in the hangar, you're in space, so that's it. You know, speaking of someone who's like the freezing cold of space, Pond of the Mad.
Because he sucks, because he's a huge vacuum.
Wow. Jesus. Wow.
Wow. Just fucking swinging.
What a dick.
That's the second version Dave gave me.
It doesn't actually feel cold in space, Pondo. You're okay.
Well, it's a mixture, right? Because half your, if you're facing sun, that side feels hot as hell. The other side feels like it's freezing.
The more the problem is your body's inability to radiate heat out efficiently in a vacuum.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Yeah. All right, science lesson for the day. No, I haven't really done much this week. Today I started packing some stuff in the office I'm not using, like a lot of the hobby stuff that I have not touched in a while. And I was watching Solaris Nights as that went on.
Yeah,
it's been interesting
stuff.
I'm glad that you're enjoying it. It's interesting seeing you comment on it, knowing that a cast member of my shows regularly watches my shows.
One with by far a dearth of BattleTech experience. 4 years of it, in fact. 4
long years.
Yeah.
One of those years that knowledge was very minuscule. No, it was like half a year, I think, first season. Yeah, no, it's been an interesting watch because I guess just from experience being on the shows, the BattleTech shows. So.
Okay.
But no, I haven't done much. I'm kind of just biding my time until I get moved and then get everything else set up there.
Oh yeah, I saw you go live with Skyrim while I was streaming. Was it last night?
I think it was two nights ago.
Yeah, I was just messing with like some mods because I was getting ready to.
Yeah. A new playthrough of Skyrim.
Not really. It's mostly going to be used to get B-roll for videos in the future.
All right, Pondo.
See,
This needs to happen. Rank the 3 Elder Scroll games or the 4 Elder Scrolls games.
there's 5.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
The single player ones. So there's Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyfall.
And Arena. You forgot Arena.
Arena is the second one.
No, Arena's
Okay.
the first one.
Is it the first one? Okay.
Arena came first,
You're
and
right.
Daggerfall. Yeah.
Yes. I haven't played the first 2.
Okay. I can understand that. They're kind of archaic, but sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't played the first.
The only one that
but-
matters, the only 3 that matters is your opinion of Morrowind, Oblivion.
Come on. Daggerfall was the best. Daggerfall, you could walk into somebody's store with a cart, with a horse and cart, then just pass time until the shopkeeper went home, and then load all their stuff onto your cart, and then pass time till they come back in the morning, and then sell all their stuff back to them.
That's awful. That's
I don't know.
If I remember correctly, Daggerfall was also completely procedurally generated, if I remember correctly, too. Right?
No, I think that was Arena. I think that Daggerfall, at least like the cities I know were locked, were set layouts.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
all the dungeons and stuff. I mean, were, like,
Yeah. Oh,
procedurally-
yeah. Sorry, but that was definitely the case with Arena as well. I think you're right with Daggerfall too.
I know Arena is you could go through all throughout Tamriel, not just the capital, like in the 4th one. I haven't played much of Morrowind just because.
Oh man.
Well,
It's old.
It's old, yes, and I didn't really
Morrowind
have
is-
it. I played it at a friend's house mainly when I played it, and it seemed all right.
Okay, so the thing about Morrowind, because the next one is Oblivion, right? So Oblivion became like a AAA game, and Morrowind is still when it's like indie, or not really indie, but like a small company doing a thing.
Like a B list, essentially.
Because, well, not so much that, but because the biggest jump was that Oblivion, they got rid of quests. Not quests, they got rid of. Sorry, this is when I normally wake up for a game, just so you know. They got rid of Oblivion had voice acting. That was the major change they did. Had voice acting, and it changed the way that they displayed the quests, because previously the quests were they
It's
were
like through
completely like
notes.
it was like an entire dialogue. Like they had dialogue trees where like entire like people could
Right.
converse at you and explain things to you as like, oh, inside of this dungeon we were doing some mining, blah blah blah. But in Oblivion, they changed it because they had a lot of dialogue. So when people talked at you for dialogue, it was generally really short-ended, right? Like they were very quick to describe something to you.
Right.
So Morrowind was more like atmospheric in that regard. If you could read, like if you were capable of reading, that game is by far a little like more interesting and diverse in terms of like the atmosphere and the environment that it sets. But
So the thing is about it, it's hard for me to compare them because there's such different gaps as far as like technology wise.
yeah, okay, yeah, I
And
guess.
each one kind of does their own thing differently. So I'll say it's like Skyrim is probably the one that I've had the easiest time getting back to play with. Oblivion and Morrowind haven't really aged quite as well.
You put some mods into Morrowind though. That's a fucking good game right there. Yeah.
This is essentially, I'm going to say Skyrim because it's the one I've had the most time playing with, and like I said, I didn't care for a lot of things in Oblivion when I played through it. It was kind of everything felt stiff, and a lot of it was explained easily.
The other big change between like the old style of doing things and the new style, like Oblivion and Skyrim, they both work on like a health bar and gear giving you damage potential, right? Like that's the big change. In Morrowind, everything works on hit percentage. So if you have, 30, it's exactly the same system as I guess this game, right? So it's like a D100. It's 100% D chance or whatever. it's a percentile chance of you hitting something. So if you're 100% good at something, you're really, really good at hitting things with a sword. But if you have 20 in sword, you miss like all the time, and your dude swings slower, and you're more ungangly with it. And
there's no bell curve in the random element.
Yeah. So it's so basically you could become more proficient in it, but in Skyrim and Oblivion, it's basically like whatever sword you happen to have at that time. Right. That's the sort of the damage scale that you're currently capable of doing. So
that's probably the other reason why the Morrowind didn't quite age as well, because I've come to learn that I don't really like games that just add difficulty in situations due to just like bullet sponginess or just health meat sacks that you have to beat until they die.
But that's the way that Skyrim does it, though.
Yeah.
Like Morrowind doesn't do that. Morrowind, everything is the same throughout the entire game, but it's just dependent on how good you are at hitting them. Versus Skyrim, whereas like the further on in the game you get, the more enemies have HP increases.
And that's what killed like the Division for me. The first time I had like a boss of the Division, it required like 15 clips from an assault rifle to kill the guy. It's like, okay, this is, it's like any other. It's not Call of Duty. It's now.
So, yeah. So and Cyberpunk does that, where there's a boss and suddenly I'm slugging him with a double barrel shotgun, and it takes like almost 100 shells just to take him out, even on the easiest difficulty, because I got tired of the very hard difficulty, because I just want to get the game done with. Because everybody was bullet spongy, and they kept on one-shotting me, and I was just like, this is bullshit.
You need to go talk to your son, James?
No.
Okay. He walked in frame and then walked out of frame.
They're knocking around outside my door, and he wanted to come and complain about something someone else had done. I'm like,
Grandpa Simpsoned it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God, I was trying to work out what that was from. My brain wasn't working, and then you nailed it for me. I was like, yeah, okay.
Got anything else going on, Pondo, besides listing off all of your sweet Skyrim adjacent facts? Tell me now about the Song of the Iluvatar.
No, that's about it. I don't have much else going on. Glad to be back.
When do I get to see these edited videos that have B-roll in them?
Not for a while.
God damn it, Pondo.
It'll definitely be after I get moved.
Yeah, that kind of takes precedence.
Speaking of someone who moves physically throughout the world, Big Spoon. I could have gone with anybody for that one.
Yeah, we all exist.
We are all traveling through both time and space at possibly 220 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Speaking about someone's cells who's aged recently.
Yeah. Someone whose heart has beat in the last 30 seconds.
If your heart hasn't beat in the last 30 seconds,
I'd be dead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would not introduce you on this show. I would be desperately trying to find an EMT I'd be like, there's a streamer. Find his IP address.
Yeah. Quick. Track that man down.
I have a Zoom call. Can you reverse the line?
No,
can they do that?
I'm sure somebody could, but but just been playing a ton of Empyrean, man. It's been a lot of fun. Solaris Knights started back up again. There was like 5 things that I forgot that I wanted to do in my initial episode, so I got to get that Battletech, Mech Warrior, Solaris Knights, Gladiator, brain working again.
You got to write it down.
You're describing my entire playtest period.
Yeah, man. I'm like, oh, okay, great. I've got my episode today. And then the day after my episode, I was like, man, I should have done this. I should have done this. I should have done this. It's like, yeah, I've actually opened up a notes page in my Solaris Knights Google file. So
that happened to me. I got so when I learned who I was fighting, I got so mainly hooked on like, all right, how am I going to beat this guy? This guy could easily kick my ass.
Yeah,
I kept forgetting a lot of stuff too. That I was wanting to do.
Yeah,
Do you think you could do that gladiator style thing in like 5e? Or not really?
What do you mean? Of course you could.
Yeah,
I mean, there are certain classes that would just straight up dominate other classes. If you were like, hey, we're gonna play like a Roman style gladiator game, yeah, of course, like your paladins, fighters, and barbarians are gonna just straight up dominate pretty much everybody else. But I think you could do it if everybody was in on the premise of the game. Like if everybody was like, yeah, okay, we're in for this. I mean, I don't think it would work in the BattleTech setting, but if you wanted to play a gladiator style D&D game, I think you could make it work.
So the system it's based off of, which is Maximum X Crawl, is a Pathfinder game. So you could definitely play Pathfinder. 5e, it would take some doing. So the other thing to recognize about X Crawl is that it introduced custom classes that were specifically tied to gladiatorial arena.
You would have to do a lot of you'd have to create
a whole system to help to help the Dungeons and I had to write the whole fucking system, guys. Just remember that. I had some help from Spoon.
Thank you.
But then I got Varen coming in here going, all right, I'm going to use this move. And I'm like, that's not a move.
Yeah,
that's a move Spoon wrote that I did not add to the game.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That's a move that was suggested. But
it was not added.
Involved years ago in a Dungeons and Dragons like gladiator battle at a convention where everybody can make whatever character they wanted, but they were only allowed to take one magic item, one rare item, and one common item. And the person that won played a bard, where their common item was a bundle of sweet buns. Their rare item was deadly ingestion poison, and their magic item was a chime of hunger.
Amazing. That's fantastic.
No one got that at first, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
And then they realized what they were doing, and they're like, "Oh god."
So I mean that's pretty much it for me. I'm probably going to be dropping my CV after the stream tonight. So looking forward to flying that thing around and blowing up some Xerox Empire.
For a second there, I thought you were gonna say, I'm dropping my sick album.
Yeah, my new mixtape coming out after the stream today. Yeah.
I mean, I always use the term CV to refer to like a resume, like a curriculum vitae.
That's what I was thinking too. I was
Capital
like, what the
vessel.
fuck is he talking about? And he's like, nah. It's experience, yeah.
Technically, it's a destroyer.
Yeah, it's sure. I mean, destroyer, light cruiser.
It is literally
in
called a
between.
mid-game destroyer.
Okay,
On the page where you build it.
sure.
I'll show you a fucking cruiser. Drop by my ship, bro. Teleporters on.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what's it called? The Shepherd.
The Endurance. Shepherd is the name of the base.
Oh my god.
Oh, gotcha.
Wait,
Okay.
are you gonna have like stores on your
No, we're naming our space bases in order of men who went into space.
Yeah.
So the first one was Gagarin, the second one Shepherd. Not Commander Shepard. He was like the billionth guy to go into space.
Actually, it would be great if the game had like the Terraria system where you could invite NPC vendors to
Yeah.
your ship. That'd be sweet.
Like you can have there's NPCs that you can put on your ship, but they don't actually do anything in vanilla.
They will in Reforged, though, when we get around to that.
Yeah.
Well, I am the server admin. At some point, I could just like spawn traders onto our thing just to make Dave happy.
Yeah.
Just to make our station seem alive.
And all they sell is just like energy drinks, like in real life.
Hey, listen,
buy anything.
half the fleet was bought off of energy drink and wine, okay?
Yeah.
Do not impugn upon the honor of my fucking empire of money.
No, they don't buy anything. They just sell energy drinks and coffee. That's it.
We funded
That's
our
all we
operations
sell.
on energy drinks and then wine. It's all we sell, man.
No, but they don't buy anything. That's the thing.
Okay.
They only sell. Just like real shops.
Oh, man.
You know, speaking of someone who doesn't buy anything, he only sells. Grimdark James.
Hello.
Sell.
Just like Arthur, I too have been busy working all week. Only I got paid for what I was doing.
Holy fuck!
He's already dead, James.
I'll have you know. YouTube ads.
Okay. No worries.
That's all I got, man.
How's that $25 working out for you, Arthur?
Oh, God.
Just
Yeah.
$25 of YouTube ads in a week? What do you think I am? Dream? Ninja?
Murdered in a single sentence.
That's
You
it,
clearly didn't hear my follow-up, which was like a year at the end of that.
Yeah, my YouTube channel was monetized for 5 years, and I made $7.19 US.
When I had an MCN, I was making like close to $700 a week off YouTube. Easy. Easy. You gotta get people that put ads on your videos. That's how you make the money, not the other way around.
Yeah. So yeah, I've had a pretty horrible day yesterday. First off, well, I was out with my kids when my wife let me know that our house was flooding, because it probably hasn't made any news worldwide, but there's been this massive weather system coming through the east coast of Australia, which is like pushing out, like I think some areas they may have had like 2 meters of flooding, like almost 7 feet raises in the water levels.
You're in Sydney, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, my garage flooded, which was particularly annoying because that's where I do my hobby, and most of what was on the ground in there was hobby stuff. Now, plastic models obviously don't matter too much if they get wet, but like the boxes they come in do, but more particularly all the water slide transfer sheets got absolutely destroyed by the flooding. So yeah, and I had a few large boxes of things where the water's like soaked up through the cardboard, even though it's only like in an inch of water. It's like filled up to like 5 or 6 inches inside the box as it soaks through the cardboard. And it was all because of my neighbor having a tree which overhangs my gutters, and then that's caused all the gutters to fill up with crap. But I fixed that problem now, and I've told the neighbor to get their tree cut back. And then last night I decided to take a bunch of stuff that was damaged or I didn't need right now to my storage unit to place there, because it's a temperature controlled area, so it'll probably dry faster, and I don't need it right now. And then my car's suspension sensor failed. So the end result is that when I start the car now, I get this really ubiquitous warning. It says chassis function restricted, and it still drives normally, but you just can't put it into 4-wheel drive mode or put it into sport mode. And I'm trying to sell the car right now, so it's going to be a hard thing to sell with that error code coming every time you turn the engine on. Yeah. So now I've got to get that fixed before I can sell the car. But the good side of things was I managed to get a copy of Piety and Pain yesterday before it sold out in like 5 minutes in the US, I think. It was about half an hour in Australia before it sold out. So that'll come next week, so I can add some more stuff to my sisters and to my Drukhari map, which I've never even played, despite having like 4,500 points worth of Drukhari. So yeah, that's been. Sorry, that is so. A normal game of 40K, Dave, is 2,000 points. That would play for about 4 to 5 hours, and that would be what you would consider tournament level. So, from the point of view of scope. And last night, I quite like. I've always said before, those mechanic simulator games on Steam. They dropped a demo for Mech Mechanic Simulator, which I played for a few hours last night before while waiting for the Warhammer reveal.
Yeah, how was that? How was that?
Yeah, how was it?
I'm excited.
It's okay. The main thing is it's hard to judge right now because the demo effectively gives you the tutorial and the base game loop with no context or story. So you can just keep repairing the same 3 mechs. They just keep getting generated with random failed parts, but there's no sort of it does imply there is something of a story going on that is not actually in the demo. So it seems to play like any other mechanic games. I quite like them, but they're like playing a puzzle game almost. or more of a memory game. The biggest thing is when you take something apart and you fix it, it's remember to put all the pieces back in. Just like real mechanics, is you always end up with pieces left over after you've rebuilt something.
That's not good. That's
go,
what I do.
Wait a second.
I'm going to be bad at this game.
Yeah.
All right, cutters, we're going in here. Let's remember where everything goes.
What's that noise? Why does everything sound different?
What do you mean booting up in combat mode?
It's suddenly
empathy core. What's an empathy core?
Suddenly cuts to that night's news. Just like entire garage of mech mechanics murdered.
What I didn't realize was like the mechs would actually be like BattleTech size mechs. So you can't work on the whole thing at once. You've got to actually like the first step is to actually like break it down and like take all the arms and legs off, and then you have different workbenches for the different limbs and sensors and systems of it as well. So look, I would say it's without playing the full game, it's definitely, if it's like $20 on Steam or one of those like bargain prices, it's not a full price game for sure. But it's like something, if you just want a bit of fun for, $20, why not? I also,
you know what happens when you have a reactor malfunction. Probably be the game for you, right?
Yeah. Well, the latest White Dwarf came with like 14 free Warhammer games on Steam, which I unlocked. But like, I was like, I don't want to play any of these games. So I've either already played them and finished them because I liked them, or they weren't games interesting. Although I will probably try out Total War Warhammer, because I know Hondo spent a lot of time on that.
The Total War Warhammer games are excellent.
Yeah,
I spent more on the first one than the second one. It's been hard for me to get it because I've been trying to play Lizardmen, and I suck at Lizardmen. Not enough ranged, and the range sucks if they have it.
We should play dwarves together sometime.
Yeah.
Well,
that's actually one of the games I need to get B-roll with too.
This came with both Total War Warhammer 1 and Total War Warhammer 2, so I'll check them out at some point when I've got time.
So what I'm hearing is massive multiplayer campaign of Total War Warhammer.
I think you only have 2 people, unfortunately.
Nope, we're going in with 8 people. We're gonna play the full game. It's gonna end. There's gonna be like some magical island where we all end up fighting every 4 to 5 hours. I'm gonna hide in the back, a wall of dwarves, creating a dwarven tortoise made of guns.
I'm just getting, for some reason I'm getting flashbacks to reading the logs of your, what was it, Civ 6, where you did the...
What are they doing in Civ 6?
We played a game where instead of... So I won almost every game we had when we spawned on regular maps, but we played on a random map, and the guy who was British spawned on an island away from the rest of us and started colonizing us while I was busy fighting everyone on the continent at the same time, and I was winning too, but you can't beat everyone on the fucking continent at the same time. Like, I was taking one city every 3 or 4 like actual days, real life days, and we were all just fighting and fighting and fighting and going nowhere. And it started because Kelsa stole one of my cities using elephant technology, and ever since then I slaughtered every elephant on the fucking continent. Never again would America be imperiled by the fucking elephants.
Boat-murdered.
Two other
Boat-murdered was great.
So 2 other quick things. First off, I mentioned that during Cyberpunk the other day that my personal role-playing group we've kicked somebody out. Well, somebody has been asked to leave the island, and the end result of that is that my BattleTech game has been put on permanent hiatus, and that group is now shifting over to a Star Wars Force and Destiny game now.
God damn it! Every time I hear motherfuckers playing that game, I get jealous. Like I get physically jealous every single time I hear people playing that game.
And the other thing is that now that my new Nero game has 1 session to go, we've decided upon, we wanted to do like you did, Arthur, a mixture of Pendragon and Song of Ice and Fire. We're working on that, although I did discover that Green Ronin has lost the Song of Ice and Fire license. but they've re-released that book, literally like word for word with all the references to Game of Thrones, pulled out as something now called Sword Chronicle system, with like plugins for other things like sci-fi and Renaissance, that sort of stuff. So
Sword Chronicle system.
Yeah, it's like
That's a nice generic name.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why can't you come up with a name that has better SEO than Sword Chronicle system? Motherfucker. It's like that when they released the generic system for Star Wars, they were like, oh, Genesis. Yeah, that'll Google real well. I was like, no. No, you fucking idiots.
I wouldn't exactly call Green Ronin a powerhouse in the industry anymore either. So
yeah.
They're a niche market.
Yeah, niche market, and they don't think. They just don't fucking think.
Yeah, and they lost the Dragon Age license too. So
how?
I'm guessing they just expired. They probably just expired.
Like woke up one day. I think there's something important I was supposed to do today.
I had that this week. I remembered on the day I was supposed to register my wife's car that I had to do it, so I didn't miss out. I was 24 hours away from putting my wife on the road with an unregistered car. But
man. James,
all right, we done everybody?
Well, we didn't do Dave, but I just want to remind you that Dungeons and Dragons is the power in these waters. True enough, but there's no tabletop RPG company that can match Green Ronin Games for speed. I've been quoting that all week long. In regards to a period, I'm spamming that quote whenever I can. You know,
the real treasure was the friends we made along the way.
I've been holding off on doing those so that when I drop them again, people have had enough time to go, oh no, he started again.
Yep.
I want them to think they're safe. Speaking of people who people think are safe, Dave. Did we do your intro yet? I feel like we didn't.
No, we didn't.
It.
What up? It's me, friendly neighborhood David man. How's it going? I am now an official resident of Poland, so that's cool. Basically, it took me 5 years to get this little card, and now I am one of them. One of us.
Does this mean they take away your Australian citizenship?
It's not citizenship. It's just
okay.
I can live in the country for as long as I want, doing whatever I want. So it's not. I don't like the next step is citizenship, but in order to do that, I need a B1 in Polish and some other shit like that. And I can't be fucked. There's no reason for me to do that. Like Australians have a way better passport. They can get into way more countries. The only reason I would want to do that is I can get pseudo-European citizenship, because if I had that, I don't even need to like try and get like visas to go to like European countries. I can just be like, whoop, bye. But Australians right now, they can go anywhere they want in the world for 3 months. Like you can go into a country, you can just walk into a country and be like, hey, I'm here for 3 months. And that's really good. That's like an amazing passport. And Polish people, they can't do that.
Yeah, so, Australia is 9th on the passport power rank.
Yeah, so it's really
US
good.
Is 17th for reference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the US used to be the power in these waters. Listen up. I know you said that Polish citizenship would allow you to visit European countries. Does that mean the United Kingdom is no longer European? Maybe it never was.
Yeah, probably.
Interesting, Dave. Poland is rated as 4th, so it's higher than Australia on the passport power index.
I mean, maybe recently. I don't know. Like, it's probably because of the European country stuff,
Union,
right?
yeah.
As long as you're Googling stuff, James, who's number one?
Well, it is Germany, Finland, Spain, and Switzerland all sit number 1.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You think the EU can just make passports a thing? Stop trying to make passports a thing, EU.
Well, here's the thing: if you're in the EU, you don't need a passport.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just like, you're from this other EU country? Yeah, just come on through.
I was super excited to get a stamp of my passport the first time I went to Finland. They're just like, "Hey, welcome." I'm like, "You gonna stamp my passport?" I'm like, "What?" No, yeah. Welcome. It's like, fucking
come on in.
All right, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So, it's fine. but the thing is, they can't, like, Polish people have a very hard time getting into America, getting into all of the, like, Western continental sort of countries, like, incredibly hard time getting into those countries. To the point where it's just like they need to go through an interview in order to get a visa to go to these places, and it's like, yeah. Anyway, I'm off topic here. Working on games still. Recently finished a 10,000 word script to put into Pieces of My Heart for all the girls to have extra vocals. So now when you go on a date with them, you have like a Fallout New Vegas style conversation tree with them, which is fully voiced and stuff. So that's in recording right now. That's why I haven't been playing Imperium for the last week, because I've been fucking building this thing. And, you know, so that's off to the localizers right now. That's off to the voice actresses. They're going to fill in all the roles and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It's just the hustle, you know. Working on a new game, as always. Hired a new marketing guy. That's fun. And yeah, I mean, that was my week. Busy. I got my NAS up and running, so that's fun too. Yeah. No one cares about that shit. No one cares about that shit. No one cares that I had to like buy 18 terabytes to get 6 terabytes of storage. You know, like no one gives a fuck about that shit.
You need to work out RAID 3 or RAID 5 if you're.
I'm on RAID 6 right now, so.
Oh, okay, no worries. So.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got you.
I thought you were just striping or mirroring, so that's why it's only half.
No, fuck that. Yeah, no, I'm I got like, yeah, so it's like I went for 18 terabytes and I've got like 5 or 6 terabytes free for space and stuff. So, but now I can, whenever a hard drive fails, which happens to me a lot, I can just replace it very easily. So, you know. It's very nice, and the device I got is like quite a nice device. It's like I won't say it because it's tantamount to getting
they're not sponsoring this show.
Exactly. Fuck those guys. They didn't give me free shit. Well, no, because I heard that, you know, when you start running private NASs and stuff like that, like people, especially for businesses, people are just like, oh, really? Let me hack that shit. So, you know, it's annoying. It's one of those things. We're doing our best to make sure everything's safe, because we're specifically removing ourselves from the cloud, because I've had Google, I've had Microsoft, I have all those people like delete my shit, like, because, you know, it's pornography. So it's like, of course. So unless I want to set up a Amazon AWS service or something like that, I'm out of luck when it comes to cloud storage. So I made my own. Fuck them. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Grimdark James.
All right. So apologies for the confusion. I thought I went last again, so that's why
I know. I did it out of order. I was going around the clock.
No worries. All right. Previously on Rogue Trader, Tide of Iron, Nero is engulfed in flames as he endures Dawn's cleansing ritual, emerging from the other side mostly unscathed. Ivy reports that a mysterious benefactor has been repairing damaged components on the ship in an effective yet unprescribed manner. Pierre, Adrian, and Dawn meet with General Olmacher on the surface of Kulth, with the general offering to extend the lucrative contract to prosecute the campaign against the Severan Dominate. Resolved to the course of action to deal with the remaining orcs on the Holt cruiser, the crew of the Hand of Calixis and a Telepraetorian launch a two-pronged boarding action against the stricken ship. And finally, holding his own against the York captain, Pierre Cowles scores a fatal shot with his infernal pistol, the heat cooking off the captain's ammunition and explosives in a grisly and brutal display. Thought for the day, heresy grows from idleness.
God damn, heresy grows from everything.
That's a good one, though.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's from Dawn of War originally. So,
take a nap in the afternoon. Heresy. If you're not constantly working till you pass out and then wake up again and continue working, that is heretical.
Yes.
right. The the first thought for the day I remember learning from Warhammer 40K when I was like looking at it in high school was to err is to invoke retribution. That was the first thought for the day in the original Rogue Trader core rules. All right, so we had decided to take a little jaunt on the way back into the sector via Sinofia. I think you've written Yeehaw here. The not frontier world, so to speak. Just it's fallen on hard times. It is a frontier world, actually. Looking at this, so the journey from Kolth to Sinofia is actually quite short, like less than a week. I'm not so worried about the rolls to see if you can find your way there. But what I would like, though, because it is a week or roughly a week, I would like 2 rolls on the weird shit table to see which one, if any, the ship experiences. So, Pondo, why don't you roll me 2 D100s and we'll see what your choices are.
4785.
Okay, I'm pretty sure 85 is no event. Let's just see what 47 is in case you wanted to still do that.
In case you want something terrible to happen.
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with a bit of fun. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm in the wrong section of the book. It's not in Starships. It's in.
The Demon Prince teleports behind you and brings back the killed orc that you just had, and goes, "Have fun."
He's got fate points. He'll be fine. Okay, 47 is visitations. One or more of the crew find themselves visited by warp shades of lost friends or family. These lost souls might offer helpful advice and comfort or have darker motives. Or else all's well, a safe journey that wise captains will savour. Any preference?
None. We're good with none. Nothing.
Okay,
We're
cool.
good.
All right, no worries. So about 5 days later, the Hand and the Eternal Praetorian emerge from the warp in sight of a reddish grey planet from space. It appears to be largely grey oceans with rocky land masses. According to this information in your ship systems, the capital, Sinofia Magna, which is where the Clockwork Court is think of it like Venice. It's built right on the edge of an ocean with multiple rivers and canals converging there, so that the actual city itself is broken down into floating districts linked by a multitude of bridges. And the ship gets like an automated signal, just indicating that there's no other ships in orbit here right now. But pretty much the planet sends an automated signal indicating where you should establish an orbit and giving you clearance to land on the planet at Flavian Space Docks. Flavius Spaceport. Sorry.
Then we land.
Yeah.
All right. Who's going down to the service? I mean, obviously the 4 of you, but are you taking any other mooks with you?
Do we want to bring Ivy or no? I mean, having someone with technical knowledge might be advantageous, but it's up to you.
So, what we know about this place is that the planetary governor leaves the planet alone, that there's a Arbites precinct marshal named Colches Scarman, who I believe is our contact on planet, and there's a cult uprising to deal with. I also have a note next to it that says Massive Folly.
Aren't you talking about the other place?
No, this is Sinofia.
No, this is Sinofia.
Oh, okay. It just sounds really familiar to the place we picked up the navigator.
Oh,
Basically,
you're talking about the play. That was not a minor cult uprising. Yeah. That was the murder room, and the cult uprising was pretty major given the fact that half the city was being locked in cells.
Yeah, that was Fink's World.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you say folly, reminder, folly is another name for a large, ostentatiously built building.
Yes, that's correct. And that is what the Harlock Legacy owns here.
Yep. They don't own, so the Harlock Legacy don't own this planet. Sorry, didn't found this planet. They just had a holding here. But there's also something here called the Clockwork Court, where you thought maybe you could find information about some of Harlock's clockworks and obtain a talisman.
We want to take Ivy, then a psyker of some sort, or someone who can sense the warp, essentially.
We're also
do you want to bring Rosen?
Yeah, good friend Rosen. He's good because we know him. We know his name.
Mm-hmm.
We want to bring the Cardo artifacts and Cade.
Okay. So you're bringing the Psyker and the Anti-Psyker.
Yes.
That's
one of the two of them can fucking deal with it.
Well, Cade's not bothered. It doesn't affect Cade
I
at all.
know. It's exactly.
We're all in a group, and then Rosen's like clear to the side.
Rosen's like, I wish I would have never told these people my name.
Look, we'll put one of them on the front of the gunship and the other on the back of the gunship, okay?
No worries.
Like yin and yang, and they spin around, and it's awesome.
Are you bringing the Chimera with you as well?
If we want to make purchases on the planet, the market unit is inside the Chimera. And we could carry it down in the gun cutter, so I don't see any reason why not to just go full rogue trader, land a small armed force on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering the conversation.
Let's bring Brent and his guards too.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah.
We're just gonna dragoon a landing pad just to clear it our territory.
Several episodes ago, Nero's like, maybe we should try to be more subtle. No, fuck it.
Hey, these are not Nero suggestions, although the Cardo artifacts is a suggestion. These are my suggestions for irony.
Yeah, we're landing two squads of guardsmen and a Lehman Ross on the next planet.
Yeah. Definitely somebody suggesting adding best quality loud hailers to the gun cutter, so you can
look, they say there are two dark heresy groups, one that operate in the shadows and the other that send cherubs in front of them proclaiming their glory.
We're definitely more of the drive me close, so I want to hit it with my sword kind of group.
Every dark heresy group becomes ladder eventually.
Yes.
Send forth the cherubs to proclaim our glory. Oh God.
Okay, so as you bring the gun cutter in, first off, the climate on this planet is cool and very wet. So it's like constant driving rain. So there's a sort of darkness to the place, mainly because there's like storm clouds overhead all the time. As you're coming into Flavius Spaceport, which is on the western edge of town. So effectively, it's like on part of the edge of the continent where the rivers don't run, so the ground is more stable to build something large like a spaceport. It appears to have multiple landing pads, which all seem to have been decorated with mosaic patterns showing the exploits of some rogue trader that most of you are familiar with, unless Pondo wants to roll a knowledge rogue traders roll.
Absolutely, I have that. If I can bring it back up. Okay. Where'd it go? Common Lord Rogue Trader. Okay. I'm not going to think about it. I don't really care that much. I'll spend a CP one. Not a CP. Shoot.
Okay.
Wrong system.
I don't really care that much.
I'll just spend a fate point on it, though.
Look at Tsundere Pondo over here.
I don't care.
Okay, no worries. Okay, yeah, some rogue trader you're not familiar with. You don't recognize the family crest, but it seems to be like the mosaics are all stories glorifying whatever this rogue trader did. With that being said, a lot of the docking platforms have been just like filled with like mass storage, like crates. There are a couple of small vessels like Arvis lighters on other platforms, which appear to have been like had tarps pulled over them, or have like their engines in various states of disassembly. The spaceport seems to be running on like skeleton staff only. So they've lit up one landing pad for you, but otherwise, most of the equipment here that would be used for a busy spaceport has been shuttered, disassembled or covered in such a way that you would assume that, you're probably the first visitor in a while. You put it down, nobody seems to come to greet you. Once the ramp goes down, all you really see is the driving rain, the lights of the city in the background. Nothing in the city seems to stand taller than about 3 or 4 stories. There's no skyscrapers. It's a sprawling city, like say Venice is. It's just spread out and low, and you can sort of see, even from here, you can see the sort of gentle up and down motion of the various districts as they sort of are on floating stanchions that allow them some movement as the tide goes in and out. You're on mute, Arthur.
You're muted, Arthur.
I need to understand what genre we're in. So when we step off the boat, it's raining right now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Is there a slight yellow tint, and is there a jangle of spurs coming from my combat armor, and a extremely wet tumbleweed goes past me as a lone flute plays a quick melody to indicate that we've entered Cowboy Town? Or tell me the atmospheric background music so I can understand what genre this town is.
So the genre,
because you're everything's boarded up, and I'm like, do I need to be looking for a shooter coming at me from the bell tower?
No. The genre here is very much black and white. Everybody has internal monologues.
Noir.
The few stars you can see above glitter like diamonds on velvet.
Everyone's greatcoats or cloaks all billow, but all in different directions.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own wind.
Okay, I'm there now. Well, who's our Cardo artifacts again?
His name is. Give me a sec. I should know this. I've used
not
him
the
a few
one with the
times
frog,
recently.
unfortunately. He's on the other ship.
No. He's the navigator, isn't he? The other one.
Yeah. He's the navigator.
I don't
for the
keep track
Praetorian.
of people whose ship roles aren't our ship. I keep track of characters.
Sorry. Expanded. Okay. Cardo Artifacts is.
I think you mostly kept track of the frog.
Vincent Rosen. Vincent Rosen is the Cardo Artifacts.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna, for some reason, Nero now is all right, Rosen, I need to speak with you privately in one of these dark alleys away from everyone else.
What's wrong with your throat? Do you need some healing or something?
Oh, thank you guys.
Have some water.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
There's plenty of water coming from the sky.
You had 12 packs on the way down here. I'm not sure why.
What? I would never put that kind of poison in my body, Lord Captain.
It's okay with steroids, though.
What? That's ridiculous. This is all natural.
He says trying to drink a Yakult, but his bicep is
Nero,
blocking
I'm
his-
pretty
100% forged Arcadia.
Yeah. What do you think they put in the nutrient paste?
Nero
punches the
everything you
side.
put in your body is natural.
Nero punches the side of the gun cutter and says, "Damn it, Rosen! Leave the rest of these clowns and follow me.
All right, he
We're
follows
joining the genre we landed on." I stalk away into the rainy night.
I'll go take these legs that never end somewhere else.
Don is definitely
quick jazz, saxophone as you walk away towards the streetlight.
Adrian, what the hell's going on?
I do not know, sir.
Have you heard of a Geller field? Now you've heard of a genre field.
All right, Rosen is aside with you. His face looks more serious than mine does right now.
All right.
Oh, wait, I know exactly what this is. This is the episode of Star Trek where everyone's on the holodeck. Yeah.
Which one?
The one where they go back to the noir film.
Which one?
Season 1.
They fight Moriarty like 6 times. All right. So, yeah, I'm just all right, Rosen, look, here's the deal. I'm going to describe a planet to you, I need you to tell me which planet it is and what you might know about it. And then I described the vision that I saw during my fiery ritual.
All right.
You said it was a hive world, but I assume that I
world.
gathered more details, right?
Yeah. He said that, he describes that sounds like this district on Scintilla, the capital.
I see. Scintilla, the capital. Yes. Thank you, Rosen. That was terrifying information you've given me. Forget we had this conversation. If anyone asks you, I wanted to know how you did product in your hair. It is looking great, by the way, buddy. Keep looking over those maps, and then I just walk away after patting him on the shoulder.
Okay, no worries. He looks incredibly confused and rejoins the group looking concerned. So you'd say, well, first off, if you man up in the Chimera, once you're out of the spaceport, you do see like warning signs on the side of the road that indicate that the bridges are capable of a certain tonnage that the Chimera will exceed.
I check my knowledge of Imperial engineering.
Yep.
Can the bridge's safety tolerances hold a Chimera even if the shitty engineers don't believe so? Because engineers will put warning signs up for any reason.
Give me a logic roll.
Question for Ivy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm thinking something war based, right? Like there must be training for like, yes, I know the bridge says it can only hold 30 tons, but trust me, we've tested this on 1,000 worlds. It can hold 35.
I'll give you Tactica Imperialis with no bonus.
Yes. That is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I want to use any force power by just rolling force.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Are we in Jesse Cox's Star Wars here, or what?
Yeah. Look, we all know how I feel about skill bargaining.
1.1. How about that, James?
So obviously the warning signs would be predicated upon the weakest of all the bridges. And you could see from when you flew over, each bridge was its own architectural style, like one was like the bridge, like styled like the Bridge of Sighs. One was more of a an open topped bridge, but the thing would be that any warning would have to be predicated upon the weakest of all those structures. So certainly you're only about 10 to 15% above the maximum weight, so provided you don't try and go over like the ricketiest looking fucking bridge in town, then you should be good.
All right, I lean over the shoulder of our driver, whose name evades me, even though I could look it up. Wally, Don's assistant, and I'm like, use that bridge, Wally. Not that one over there. We'll crush it in an instant. This one right here is good, though. Look at that. Look at that reinforced pylon right there.
You missed a missed opportunity here, Arthur, to do like Top Gear episode where we try and get like. I have
never seen a single episode of Top Gear.
Across like the river.
Mm-hmm.
But like each of us like break into small teams and like
build our own bridge.
My understanding is that Top Gear is about
ferry.
3 British assholes take $100 billion cars apart and then go, well, was it quite as good as I thought it was?
No, the best episodes are when they take like the $30 cars and push them.
Yeah, it's 3 British assholes like go to like the middle of Africa and buy $1,000 cars and say, I wonder if we can get this car to the other side of Africa.
Yeah. Let's drive this car across the desert.
Yeah, and then they get to a river and they're just like, okay, your challenge is to build a ferry to get your shitty cars across the river. And they're like, And
then when they inevitably fail, their method for getting water out of the footwell of the car is to shoot a hole in it.
What the fuck?
This is Top Gear.
Yeah, that's legitimately happened on the show.
What would you just?
It's actually one of the best episodes.
There's several other alternatives, like just using a hammer to tap out a hole with a chisel.
No, fuck that.
Why would you shoot a gun into a fucking vehicle?
That's what their guide did. He cracked open the door and
Jesus. What?
It's what you had on hand. You might as well use it.
Just because you have a gun does not mean you should use it. Folks at home, please
That's the most
heed this wisdom.
un-American sentence you've ever
That's not
said.
even
That's
remotely true. I would never
Whenever-
say anything un-American.
When the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail.
To solve this particular hammer, you could solve it with a real fucking hammer and a nail.
Actual hammer.
You could use the gun as a hammer to solve this problem. Jesus. What kind of fucking idiot shoots a fucking car from the inside? Oh, I never want to
There's a
watch
group
Top
of
Gun.
people that live in the mountains that are kind of off the beaten path a little bit. There's your answer.
I mean,
All right, so
I got the
anyway,
water out.
we get across this bridge as
Yes.
as Wally is sweating, and I'm just like, it'll hold. It will hold, Wally. Don't worry. I've done this
That's how we all
before.
die.
Lord Commodore, this vehicle is equipped with emergency flotation devices.
It is. I believe that chimeras are semi-amphibious.
Yes. As far as the exhausts get flooded, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
That's,
Don't worry,
that
Lord
is how
Commodore.
most tanks do work. It's
If you start,
You have a s-
if you start
James, you have a
sinking,
small
I'll
child
use
hanging out.
Guardian
Okay.
to exchange 2 meters with you, and we'll bring you back to the surface. Then I'll
if I'm
sink
sinking,
for
you're
you.
also sinking, Nero.
What? I'm ridiculously strong. Look at these biceps.
Let's not put the Chimera in the water.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're going over this bridge and not that one over there.
Okay. No
Look,
worries.
Adrian, you see that pylon we're going past right there? That's load bearing, structurally reinforced. You see that one on that bridge over there? That's load bearing too. Look at that weakness, that rust pattern. Not gonna hold.
So you take the Chimera crosses over into like the main districts. Not all the districts clearly have very obvious markings. They're all done by Roman numeral. So you've entered effectively District 7. They don't
I
seem to have
believe
any
you
other
mean
names.
District VII, but go ahead.
Exactly. The other thing is that, like, because you've effectively you've got building, then like roadway, then canal. The Chimera is actually quite wide. So what happened is most people aren't used to people driving vehicles around. So there's people like with market stalls out. They quickly like pull back their trestle tables as the Chimera passes, so that their livelihood isn't run down beneath its tracks. The rain continues to drive. There's no one's reached out to you to communicate with yet. You can see like there is an obvious commercial district in the middle of town. Is there a particular place you're wanting to head in the Synophia Magna?
Lord Commodore, you know it's traditional for us to get out and allow me to threaten some merchants on our arrival. I feel like we are destroying some of these merchants' livelihoods for about 2 minutes. We should at least give back to the planet just a little bit.
Be my guest, Nero.
All right. Lord Commodore, well, while we're here, there actually are several things I'd like to purchase. We haven't done that in a while, and we do have the nice module in the back here that I reminded you about for this specific purpose.
You really want to activate the module in the nice, quiet neighborhood?
What,
It's really loud.
Is it? I thought it was literally just a giant calculator. Is it actually loud?
Yes.
It's not loud. Well, I mean, it's probably very clockworky as such, So
I thought
it has.
I thought in the descriptor said that it's like really loud.
Okay.
I'll double check.
It definitely has like vacuum tubes, and it is like a Babbage engine.
A Babbage engine, you say? I happen to know somebody who knows about Babbage engines. A difference calculator?
Yes. So what I'm imagining is effectively you go out into the street and find some like street vendor who's got like a table of wares you want to buy something off. You drag him into the Chimera. He gives you his price. Pierre taps a few things into this giant device which hums and whirs and spits out smoke, and then a little like ticker roll comes out and looks and goes, "No, that's a bad deal. You have to do better than that."
that is exactly how canon this is going to be. But let's start with the discussion with street vendors first.
Yes.
So I'm going to get out and I'm just going to wander around for a while and introduce myself as Nero, the last word of the Hand of Calixis, and that I'm here as part of the fleet. And we're interested in doing some commercial movement, and what's the hot deals? What do you got? As I'm saying to him, I'm like, what's going on here? What's good on this planet? What's good in your store, by the way? How fresh is this fruit?
Give me awareness of +10, please.
Great. Oh, +10? James, have I ever been afforded such a luxury?
By the way, I love the idea that your line of questioning is, I'm going to question the shopkeepers to see what I can do to undercut their business.
I'm gonna reroll.
Okay.
Yeah. On page 144, it describes it is a noisy man-sized stack of chugging Promethean-fueled rod conjugators.
Oh, it's stuck in
a
man's side. It's stuck inside of a fucking Chimera.
So what you do notice is when you're going to, like, there are a vast number of street urchins that all sort of like run off. Like, you're pretty sure that what you said about who you are and who you represent will be quickly getting around town thanks to an information network of young
Sherlock Holmes, calm down.
Young British orphans
using cell phones.
That's all word of mouth.
It's the Imperium. It would have to be.
So I mean, a lot of these merchants pretty much carry, like, effectively food, tools, whatever. They're not here to sell to tourists. They're here to sell to locals for the most part. So they're mostly day-to-day sort of stuff that people in the area would require. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Oh yeah. So I'm like leaning over this guy's stall, eating like a blood orange, and I'm just like, this is great. This is the best fresh food I've had in weeks. All right, look, buddy. Listen, you do business, I do business. I point to the Chimera. We all do business here. I bet you probably have a dream. There's something that you want to do, and there's something you need to get it done. Is there like a local merchants association or something like that? Collective, guild, union?
That would sort of, I mean, it's run by the judiciary. They're the real power here, and they give us our licenses. They resolve disputes.
Sounds pretty judicial. Who legislates here?
So the judiciary meet every 10 years to elect a new planetary governor, but the office of the judiciary themselves maintain water. But and he sort of like, he leans in close.
Yep, I lean in close as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If you ask me, the real power here is with the Mandado.
The Mandado. Tell me more. I lean in even closer, so it's quiet.
Yeah, no worries. They're like a secret police. They used to be enforcers, magistrates, and the like. But in many ways, the judiciary now, they're puppets. But with the Arbites here, it's probably only a matter of time before the Arbites and the Mandado come to blows.
You don't say. There's conflict between the local government and the imperial government?
Well, the Khan, he runs the Mandado and the whole place like his own private business. The Arbites are completely tied up with the Unquiet right now, but I imagine when they solve that problem, they won't leave here until they've sorted out the other issues.
The Unquiet. That sounds like a key word. Tell me more about that.
Oh, you've not seen them?
I look around.
Oh,
what am I looking for?
He makes a sign of the Aquila, like in the same way someone makes a sign of the cross to protect themselves.
Yep, I make the same one. Yeah. I'm a believer.
That's right. Yeah. We've had problems here. The dead, they don't stay dead.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. The Unquiet's what we call the people that still walk after they've died. The tradition here is because of how we bury the dead far outside of the town, but occasionally when the wet season comes through, They wash back into the canals, and in the past 3 years, they've been pulling themselves from the canals individually. They're not, an individual one is not that great a threat. They're slow, but in a large group, they can be quite dangerous.
I understand. You've given me much to think about. I put my hand on his shoulder and say, "You have a family, good merchant?"
Yes.
What's your name?
Brock.
Brock. You say 2 children?
2 children and a wife.
And a wife. You're a good man, Brock. I want you to know, as you can see based on my arraignment, I'm a person who kills things, and I assure you that pretty much everything I've killed stays dead 100%. And I hold up my blessed bolts case and say, you know what this is? I was given this by a secret order of sisters, specifically to make sure that things stay dead. Then I gesture to my necklace of crow feathers?
Yes.
I was given this by another holy order for wiping out a demonic threat. I cannot promise that as we drift through your town, we can solve all your problems. But for you, good man Brock, you can let your people know, as long as I'm here, I'll make sure that anything that I kill stays in the canals.
Give me a +10 scrutiny roll.
Okay.
Wow.
That's great because my scrutiny is super low. I'm just gonna let that sit, James. There's no
worries.
point.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's impressed with your credentials. The blood orange is on him.
That's fantastic. All right, so I turn and walk away.
It's a rotten blood orange, isn't it?
I'll tell you.
It's good. It's good.
I'll tell you. I've figured out what genre we're in. All right, so I come back to the back of the Chimera where everybody's waiting for me, and I'm standing around the side of the Chimera, so you can't see me yet. As the rain comes down and occasionally lightning cracks, and I go, Lord Commodore, I figured out what genre we're in. A dark city, the dead fall on its shores. I walk around the corner with gumbo and Dooley sausage, and I say, we're in New Orleans, sir.
What?
It's an American thing, sir.
What?
Don't worry about it, sir.
No, you're speaking nonsense.
Yeah, well, I'm about
Did
to
the
speak.
fire go to your head?
I'm about to speak a lot more nonsense, sir. Allow me to explain what's happening on this planet. Regurgitate.
That doesn't sound like nonsense. That just sounds like something that could logically happen. Let's talk about
we've seen some weird
America.
shit. I agree with you. Yeah.
Let's talk about America and New Orleans, whatever the hell those are. That just sounds silly.
Yep, I agree. All right, sir. So, we've kind of got a lowdown on what's going on. Sounds like the Imperial government is regaining control. Hey, as long as we're here in this marketplace, I wonder if they have a motion predictor that I could stick on top of my gun so I could shoot even better.
I doubt that.
I
doubt
don't
that there's a
know.
random arms dealer in the streets of Marcus where they sell fruits.
We haven't
and
bought
some
anything in a
life's
really long
tools.
time, Lord Commodore. And
I imagine if we go to the central commercial plaza, they would probably have something there.
Yes,
Yes.
See? Adrian, right? So we will make the roll on our transit over there.
All right, no worries.
Look, it's up to Pondo to roll or not, and he has been, every time I've asked, he has not rolled for it. But he doesn't have an excuse this time because nobody's asked for anything in like 5 episodes.
Yeah. It's just because we weren't really in a situation to really, it made sense.
Yeah, I mean,
to be like,
we were
all right,
fighting orcs. Yeah.
I was like, all right.
That's
before
the
we
time
fight
you
these
really
orcs,
wanna
I'm
be
gonna do
asking
some
for
shopping
things.
for us.
So have you got your ready worked out there, Arthur?
Oh, it's plus 10.
Okay.
So it depends on the population. What is the
It's a minus 20 plus 30. It's a very rare.
It's very rare. Okay, so it's a minus 20 is the base rarity on this planet based on population.
What's the population?
It's less than 100,000.
Oh,
Living or dead?
Wow, Dave asked a really good question.
Yeah, unfortunately, the dead don't contribute to the GDP, so I'm going to say the economy is based only upon the living people.
I was going to say, what kind of losers live here? Why wouldn't they just put the dead in giant hamster wheels and allow them to power the colony by having them run at them?
I would love to see the elections on this planet.
Can I say, AP, in all the horror movies where the zombies only become a problem because someone tries to actually like monetize them, you're that person.
Name one movie where that's ever happened.
Day of the Dead?
Day of the Dead.
Is it Day of the Dead? Or
I don't know that I've ever seen Day of the Dead, so... Yes, I am a person who would monetize zombies. Listen up. Engineering principles. If ghosts were real and they could make spots cold, we could have a thermal difference engine. We could just use ghosts to generate infinite power. That's why I know the supernatural isn't real.
Yeah, but it wouldn't.
Because if it was, power companies would be ghost busted left and right.
Exploiting it, yeah.
You wouldn't be looking to Roto-Rooter to capture ghosts. You'd be looking for fucking TVA. All right. Let's talk about this motion predictor and whether I can pressure Pondo into getting it or not.
I'll roll for it. You just gotta think. So you 10.
Yeah, I work out it's a plus 10 total based upon the yeah.
I gotta roll commerce first, and then I gotta roll for it, and then not get it.
So you get plus 10 on your commerce test thanks to the
the calculants array.
Array, yep.
Plus 10 from renowned warrant.
Yep. Yeah, certainly everyone knows you here.
Yeah. Do I get a plus 10 for pure mercantile or?
Yeah, I will in this environment. You will.
Because that's what we specifically went towards, merchandisers. Yeah. So 30.
I guess I'll log in real quick to the game.
No, I appreciate that.
Okay. Wow, you're on 97 too.
Yeah.
But you still succeeded.
Yeah.
So
right,
that'll be
plus 12.
Pondo, how are you so good at this game?
No, it's 0.6, not 6 degrees. 0.6.
Yeah, it's plus 12. I was including the plus 10 you said before.
Yep.
Because I got one success
that checks
at least.
out. Yeah, plus 10 for the base, and then...
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, cool.
So we're at 45, so we need to get 57 under?
Yeah.
Oh, we got under 57. All right.
How long is it going to take for this thing to show up?
Man, that's two extremes of rolling right there. That's not a good sign for tonight.
So it was very rare.
Yep.
It'll be 1d5 weeks.
All right. I give the finger guns to Brock as I leave. Thanks, Brock.
5 weeks.
Okay.
Going for the extremes tonight.
The undead are going to be all dead before I get this thing. All right.
Anything else that we would like to try to get?
Well, that's why I logged in. I need to check my notes.
So I turn to the Lord Commodore while people are looking, and I say, don't worry, Lord Commodore. I'll come up with a list of more things that we could buy. And I reach up to gesture to my shades, and I say, these have been pretty nice because Dawn is blinding everybody constantly, all the time. There could be a money-making opportunity here between...
It's only like twice in this entire game.
There could be a money-making opportunity between this Karn and his Mendados and the Arbites. I assume one of the two forces is going to approach us, possibly both. We show up here with a pretty large force, and you have a title and authority.
I have authority outside of the Imperium, mainly.
Adrian is talking, but for some reason...
You do carry... some measure of authority within the Imperium as well.
You're equivalent to a planetary governor. Yeah.
Yes.
I put my arms around the Lord Commodore's shoulder and I gesture up towards the stars, diamonds against velvet, and I say, Lord Commodore, the real authority you have is 2 fucking warships in orbit over this place. That's pretty authoritative.
Everything the plasma beam touches will one day be yours.
I'm not saying we're gonna raise the planet. Obviously, we're merchants, and this is an imperial planet. But the people who live here are looking up there and looking at guns and money. I'm telling you, they look up at us and they see guns and money.
You know what I think we should try to go for?
What should we go for, Lord Commodore?
Getting like 100 Praise Sense goggles.
You mean for the troops?
Yes.
I think that would be an excellent upgrade.
I turned to Captain Bryn. I'm like, would that work for you and your people?
Oh, did we bring Captain Bryn?
Yeah, I said we were bringing Captain Bryn.
Yeah, that's something we could definitely use.
All right. I turn to the Master of Arms who isn't here, and I go to my combat and I go, hey, Master of Arms Langford.
The Vox are going to put you through.
Yep. Langford,
yes.
could you use some Praise Sense goggles for your troops?
We can deploy that appropriately, yes.
All right. I turn to Lord Commodore. Turns out everybody wants them, sir.
And it's the good quality that lets you block the flash, essentially the flashbang effect, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're looking at a minus 30 because it's below 1,000% population, right? Yes?
Yep.
Wait.
Oh, no, it's like, no.
No, it's minus
100,000.
10. Minus 10 for 10.
Yep.
For rare, okay. So minus 10 for good quality. It's another minus 10 for minus 20. And getting at least 100 is neutral? No? Wait.
Sorry,
What?
bro. Try it.
What am I looking at? Yes, it's neutral.
Okay. So it's a base minus 20 then, plus your commerce test.
Should I just go for 1,000? How
What's
many armed guards do we have?
Bryn and his men are like 12. It's a question of how many
But we have
armsmen we
more
have.
armsmen on the ship.
Yes.
Hey, James, how many armsmen do we have?
It's usually one per 500 people. So I'll look up the population of your ship and that'll tell me.
What, like 35,000?
I think you have about 25,000. So we can get what's
250?
math today, about 500 people.
Well, yeah.
About 500. 500 don't.
So you have 1,000.
So be at a minus 30. I say let's go for it. Get the 1,000 just to get them all taken care of.
Go hard or go home.
Lord Commodore, your greed knows no bounds.
Oh, that's much better.
Okay.
So
It's a plus 8. So
is it plus 8 or is it technically plus 10 because it's an extra degree?
Yeah, the base degree. You're right. Sorry. Yeah, that's probably the right way to do it. Yeah. So it brings 53. So 20
minus 20.
23%. Yep.
All right. So I need to get under 30. No, I need to get under 25.
25.
25? Nope. All right.
No.
Another time.
Yours
bigger
is too
world.
big. Yeah. It's like you pick up a set of Praise Sense goggles. Like, how much for 1,000? He's like, that's the only one I have. And I've already taken a deposit on that one as well.
Lord Commodore, I just had a thought. Nero turns to you, dollar signs in his eyes. He's still eating the andouille sausage. We still have a shit ton of guns on the ship. Don't we have like 5,000 guns that we bought to sell to people? You know who would probably want those guns? The Mandato.
I bought the guns to arm
Or the Arbites.
Yes, we could sell them to the Arbites, who probably do not have as much money as the people who've been ruling this planet for hundreds of years and are on the verge of extinction and will pay literally anything to stop that from happening. We could sell to the Arbites.
They're
Yes.
also the rightful imperial authority on this planet.
I agree with you entirely in terms of rightful authority. And I believe that in the long arc of time, the rightful authority of the Imperium will eventually reassert itself. However, there is a money-making opportunity to be had here.
And arming the enemies.
First off, we don't know that they're the enemy. And second off, Imperial citizens have a right to self-harm. Adrian?
They have a right to bear arms.
They have a right to bear arms.
In fact, I'm not sure that they do.
I'm nearly 100% certain
coming out of your mouth at the moment. You need to shush.
This isn't a heresy at all. Cadia is literally a planet made of gun.
Acadia is right next to the Eye of Terror. Of course, they have made of guns.
Aren't
They
you
have to be.
enlisted as soon as you're born on Cadia, though?
Not everybody, but I was.
Well, when you're enlisted in the guard, you have a right to a weapon.
All I'm saying is that we could be selling guns that we have to people who will pay dearly for them. And we could even, if it makes you feel better, do a double cross of some kind. We're rogue traders, but we've barely done any trading, and there hasn't been a single double cross, Lord Captain. We're not at the level of Look at your hat, sir. I specifically bought you that Commodore
we've been double
hat.
crossed a couple of times, just more of in a subtle manner.
No. We haven't done the double crossing. We've definitely been double crossed, for sure.
You know who Arthur is, who Nero is right now? You guys ever play Far Cry 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe.
Now,
The main
Nero,
villain in that game was a gun runner who all he did was double cross people constantly.
Now, Nero, I'll consider what you say, but I will ignore the fact that you were suggesting to arm the people who are going against the Imperium.
We can't confirm that. We just heard it from a random street vendor.
Well, perhaps we should confirm such a thing.
The
before we
issue
sell
is
them
one side is the
thousands of blast
Arbites.
guns.
One side's the Arbites, who are meant to enforce the Imperium rules. And the other side is some people on this backwater planet. No offense, he just says to random people by.
Look, Lord Commodore, I'm acting a little out of character, but I'm just trying to spice things up because we haven't had a trade deal on like 8 episodes.
Now, I do think, Lord Commodore, that he does have a point in the fact that we could use these last guns as a form of bait to draw out any ne'er-do-wells on this planet.
Oh, that's true. You could use that to get a meeting with the Karn. And then I could kill him. That would solve a lot of problems. It wouldn't solve the undead problems, but it would solve one problem.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves either. We're here to look at some clocks, right?
Yeah. Okay. Nero rolls his eyes. I've seen how this works. We've been to multiple planets before, Adrian. You know we're gonna solve this problem before we leave. Remember the murder room?
I do.
Solve that problem too.
If I remember right, that problem followed us onto the ship.
Yeah, and I solved it.
Sure.
What do you mean, sure? I learned his name, and I murdered him. I have the bullets.
We murdered him.
Yeah, okay.
You just temporarily sent them back to the warp.
No, I'm pretty sure it was permanent.
In any case.
Right, James? Wasn't it permanent when we killed him in the murder room?
You probably lack the knowledge to know what that would actually do to that thing.
Damn it.
Would it? I do.
I mean, we also
You're not corrupt enough for that knowledge.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that answer. Nero smiles at the game master. He has zero corruption now.
Yeah,
He's in
let
a
me
good
set the scene
place.
as well.
Your
Because you guys are in
third
the
eye
commercial.
has not opened yet.
Yes. You're in the commercial district, which is basically like it's one of the more solid islands. So it's actually on fill rather than on piles, and it has like a large open promenade with multiple statues. So there are 4 statues. At the very top is the God Emperor. Then there are statues beneath him of Lord Solar Angevin and St. Drusus, and then a 4th statue a step further down, who appears to be a woman, probably a rogue trader, based upon the accoutrement that she wears, although not one you recognize because you failed so horrifically before. The 4 dominating buildings. So most of the promenade is merchant houses, but the 4 dominating buildings that seem to prevail over the rest are an administration tower, a cathedral, a courthouse, and a counting house.
I would ask if the statue has a name for the the apparent rogue trader, but I don't think.
Yeah, I'm gonna
he
go.
cares.
Lord Commodore, who is that rogue trader right there? You know a lot about rogue traders, right?
If you look at the plaque, it indicates that this is Lord Captain Teresa Sinos, who was the founder of Sinofia.
Does that ring any bells?
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe. You got -6 degrees. I'm going to say no.
That's fair. No one important.
I'm telling you, Lord Captain, Lord Commodore, this is everything I've learned about Western movies. We've got the government building, we've got the cathedral, we've got the sheriff's office, and we've got the local bank. We've got federal law enforcement officers coming in to take out the corrupt local deputies. I'm telling you, we're walking into a shootout, sir. He watches as another completely soaked tumbleweed rolls past all the abandoned, shuttered buildings.
I forgot. It's what on earth is going? Nero, what? You was switched from noir to western. That is a very big jump. Anyway,
I'm sure there's noir westerns. I'm going to Google it right now. I'm sure I'm going to find a couple books on Amazon Prime.
Shall we go into the administrative?
Yeah, it's called Cowboys versus Aliens, starring
Noir Western is, in
James
fact, its
Daniel.
own genre.
Daniel Craig. That's it.
Daniel Craig, so that's it. Yeah.
let's just get the business that we need to get done on this planet so we can leave, so that way Nero can go back to normal.
I think that is a never going to happen again.
Please, just lie to me.
Very well, Lord Commodore.
All right. While we're out shopping, I find somebody and I go, "Hey, you other merchant."
Yes?
I have another merchant. His name's Brock. You know that guy?
I can't say I do.
8 blocks down. Okay. All right. You know something called
Right.
You know something called the Clockwork Court?
Yes, everyone knows the Clockwork Court.
Yeah, tell me about that.
It is a political building, like a parliamentary house where the rulers of Sanofia go for major affairs. It also has a large collection of clockwork objects. It's presided over by the Keeper of Records.
Keeper of Records, huh? Now, who's that?
Yeah. Sagacity, what's her name? He's trying to, like, he honestly doesn't remember. He's trying to remember. I remember her title is Sagacity. I can't remember her actual name. Euphrates, something like that.
And she's not with the imperial government, right? She's local.
Well, her position is inherited, but it's part of the planetary politics. He gets out like a piece of like water resistant paper and sketches you like a route to how to get to the Clockwork Court.
Oh, thank you, good merchant. Here, let me buy some of these trinkets here. Is this a dancing bear? Fantastic.
You spend an inconsequential amount of money on an inconsequential item. No worries.
I toss it to Cade when I get back on board and I say, "That's to commemorate your first kill, Cade. Nice work." You're
But
a
I
man
thought
now.
he didn't kill it.
No, he did. He definitely chopped an orc's neck off while we were watching him.
Yeah, it was already unconscious and in comatose, but you know.
I
I
put
thought
my
he disemboweled it and caused blood to go everywhere.
He did.
Okay.
That's true, did you?
I put my hand on his shoulder after I toss him the bear, and I'm like, "It's important. You're a man now. You've killed. Do you feel any different?"
No.
Good. You're not supposed to. Never change, Cade. We're going to have you continue killing.
No,
And
I pretty much have no soul.
It's good that you don't get the battle fatigue.
He nods and sits quietly.
Good. Good. You see that guy over
Oh,
there?
but PTSD. Oh, he's got that in spades.
That's fine.
I point over to a guy and I say, "That guy's name is Rosen. He's our card artifacts. You see that other guy over there? His name's Rosen too. Don't go near him."
Yeah, Roizen is the other one. R-O-I-S.
Raisin.
I say Rosen anyway.
Right.
Their names are similar enough. All right, I explained to the Lord Commodore what we came here to get and where we can go to find it.
Thank you, Nero.
Look, I'm just trying to do my job, which is to either derail the plot or move it forward, alternatively at my whim.
For one of the two. But
So
not
at this point in time, you get a call from the ship. We've got a call from the surface we want to route through to you. It's from a judiciary of Vandus Adrani.
I knew someone would call eventually. I guess put them through.
All right. You get a voice on the line. Hello, Lord Commodore, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Pierre Cowles.
It's a pleasure to speak with you. I am Judiciary of Vandus Adrani, the elected official of Sinofia. I apologize. I only just learned of your arrival on planet. I wanted to make sure that I extended any any aid that I can offer you if you need to meet or do any business on Sinofia on a planetary scale. Please consider me your man.
Excellent. Thank you for giving me a call. I'll be sure to let you know if there is.
Okay. You can give me a +10 scrutiny roll while I ponder.
You know something's up when the GM says, "Hey, you want to test if he's lying?"
Ain't that a bit? I'll reroll.
Come on, Plondo. I believe in you. 0.1.
1.
Yes.
There it is. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you get the impression this man is desperate to please. Like he really is. He's really hopeful he can. You have some need of him and something that he can actually he can do. Like he's definitely the approval seeking type.
Take me away.
Yeah, there's a major virus going down. He hasn't been outside for a year. He's just desperate to have a job again.
Right. Yeah, I guess I'll keep that in mind. Figure out where his alliances are in comparison.
Why not just ask him right now? Just be super blunt about it. What do you have to lose?
I guess you're right. So are you with the Arbites or are you with the Karn?
I'm neither. I'm the planetary governor.
Yes, but your planet has issues at the moment that you need to solve. I'm trying to figure out where you lie in the situation.
Which he's definitely nervous in his voice. Which issue are you talking about?
I need you to work with me.
Yes.
I need you to be honest.
Yes.
Tell me the information I want to know.
I just need to know what you need to know. I'm just wondering which issue you're referring to.
It's not that we don't have issues. It's that we have a lot of issues. Yeah. So I'm very confused as to which one you're referring to.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Not the Walking Dead part. The issue of the perhaps rising chaos cult.
The cult that was dealt with years ago.
Oh, maybe I have late information then. How about the issue with the Karn?
Well, we seem to have reached something of an accord. His focus now is more on the undertow. Sorry, he is dealing with a criminal syndicate on the planet. 3 crime lords that call themselves the Undertow.
Interesting.
And he is leaving. While he's focused on that, we seem to be getting along productively. He doesn't bother the Arbites, they don't bother him. We have a sort of equilibrium right now.
Very well. And the Arbites don't show any interest in trying to...
Well, they're more focused on the issue of the Unquiet. You've heard of the Unquiet, the issue we've had with Walking Dead?
Yes, I've heard rumors. Any idea where they're originating from?
No, but the Arbites, when they first arrived here 10 years ago, they claimed Harlock's Folly as their area of operations. So maybe somewhere they've got leads over that way. It's hard to
like,
say
oh,
because. Sorry.
It's like from Pierre's like side of the call, he just suddenly hears a heavy sigh.
It's like, of course, it's Harlock's Folly.
We already knew that, though. We knew that was the name.
Yeah. Also,
Yes.
after their precinct marshal died several years ago, their new younger marshal has been not very communicative as to how he's going with his investigations.
Can you maybe get in contact with him for me, please? Or at least send him my number, essentially.
Okay.
I love the idea. It's like, how are your investigations going? Walks into the room, grabs a pistol. Planet's haunted.
Okay, he will contact the Arate's marshal and ask him to contact you.
Healing up, yo. I was really hoping that the building that we needed to go to didn't have to do with the Walking Dead thing, but
Everyone can give me plus 10 awareness rolls, actually.
oh, we're getting dead guys so walking up us, aren't we?
Wake me up and
Okay, Evanescence, chill out.
Again with the I don't need to notice. I don't care.
Save me! Oh my god. Can't see shit.
So Nero and Adrian do notice, by the way, there are occasional signposts around the street in this area that say, remember, report all unquiet sightings to to Harlock's Folly.
I pointed out to Lord Commodore quietly, just like a tap on the shoulder, out one of the Chimera's viewports.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. All right, let's go to Harlock's Folly.
Very well.
All right. I know it's still a few minutes. It's probably a good point, though, I think, to take a break.
Yeah.
Preposterous. At 9 o'clock, when we usually do?
Well, it's 5 minutes early.
That's true.
Unbelievable. Grimdark James, 5 minutes early? What do you think you are with this group? In this economy? I don't know what I'm doing with Nero tonight. I'm not really playing Nero at this point. I'm playing myself.
You're playing tired Arthur.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of noticed, Arthur.
It's been
We're
great.
just kind
Now
of
that we've gone from noir film to cowboy film back to noir film.
No, it's a cowboy noir. It's clearly a New Orleans murder mystery, supernatural murder mystery set in the Western era. All we need to do is find the ex-Confederates wandering around, and then we know who the bad guys are.
Okay.
We'll be back in about 8 minutes for the second half, where we find out just how right I am about those ex-Confederate types. James is going to rewrite the script here real quick. Heretics have broken away from the local government.